Are we live? Yes, I think we are live. Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm gonna give y'all just like a couple minutes for you to start rolling in. How are we doing this Monday evening? It's been a while. It's been alive. It's been alive. It's been a while. I mean, I hope it's been alive, but it's been a while since I've done a live session. So yes, it's another episode of Let's Go Live here on MDCRX, the Instagram page. So as you may know, as you may not know, today we're going to be inviting Dr. Samantha Johnson. We're going to have a little sleep talk, talking about sleep quality, how it affects your health, and how important it is in general. So let me wave to some people I see joining already. Alright, let me add Dr. Samantha Johnson from the Layman's Dog. She should be joining us in 5, 4, 3, 2. There we go. Hi,
Hey,
Sam, how are you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
I'm good, I'm good. I actually just came in. So,
After all of that,
yes, yes, because I
I'm
went to
here
the gym.
and I'm here waiting.
No, man,
Like,
I went to the gym 4 o'clock and I just finished about 5:30. I was speeding, come here, not speeding, cause you're on the corner, so it's not too bad. Yeah, but yes,
drive
everyone,
safe.
welcome, Dr. Samantha Johnson. All right, so just going to give them a little more minute, cause like 6:01. Just waving to who is here. So we're talking about sleep. How has your sleep been so far for the
But not
past week?
like no. I took I was never took a shower. I wanted to be relaxed, so I took a nice bubble bath. I washed my hair. It was very calming. I just relaxed. The water did well warm. Scrubbed my feet, everything. Come out, I'm like, boy, I want a water. And so I
Yes,
decided, say, you know what? Let me not go and sleep because
you
it's
might need.
kind of late in the day to take a nap, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I want to go to sleep a little earlier tonight. So I just lie down. Sometimes when I want to sleep, but I don't want to sleep, I just lie down and relax.
Yes.
And that's what I was doing, just relaxing until it was time. Then I read up my 2 articles that I have on sleep that I wrote from 2018.
Nice.
That's
By the
a
way,
little
send me
refresher
them so I can
course.
share them after.
You should what?
Send me them when you finish so I can share it after.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sure. And I left them loaded up.
Oh,
I
okay,
left
okay.
them loaded up so I can use them
Reference.
as my references.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
man.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a
Okay.
time check thing, so I have this thing on my social media where it times out after a while, so I don't over
You know,
consume.
I did have that, and it doesn't work because if I want to use TikTok, my God, may just say, you know what, whatever. But just Sunday, it told me that my screen time went down, which is good. I guess I was being more productive.
Productive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It means it always pops up at like the weirdest times when I have to use it, so it just pop up. Your time
Exactly.
out. I'm like, I
Exactly. And
can't not use it right now.
I feel like with our schedules, sometimes it kind of weird to be like, yeah, every day at this time, I'm not going to be on social media. Because
Exactly.
I'll go hours not being on my phone, not
Exactly.
doing anything.
And I have to
Especially,
hit
I
all the
don't know,
time.
I'm spending more time on Twitter. Not him about Twitter, on Instagram now and TikTok.
Yeah.
Because it's just relaxed vibes
It's
over there.
relaxing. It's so relaxing.
Yeah.
And I'm actually getting engagement over TikTok, so whatever.
No, I told you my engagement dropped over
On
TikTok
TikTok,
too. And I was just like, okay, cool. But I said, man, I'll take it on top of my head. It's okay. No
I don't
big
even
deal.
watch analytics anymore because I
I
just my
mean,
content off the throat.
I barely post now, unless it's something really easy. We can't bother.
Exactly. I'm really tired nowadays. I need to be sleeping more as we're going to talk about now. So I
Ah,
mean, I guess it's 6:05, so I think we can start the
yeah,
meat of
man.
matter. No. So again, we're talking about sleep, sleep quality, this and that, about sleep. So I kind of just want to get into the whole. I mean, you told me you're a sleep enthusiast. You're enthusiastic about the topic of sleep. I remember telling you one time how I don't really sleep that well sometimes. I saw you lit up, and you're like, "Oh, I'm so passionate about this topic about sleep." So, how important is this topic of sleep to
Yeah.
you?
I love talking about sleep. Sleep is something that I can go on and on about, and it's really because it's such an important part of my life, and I've always had issues with sleep. And for me personally, I like to start things with lifestyle changes first of all to see what can be done right off the bat without taking any medications, without really putting a lot of monetary or even time investment into something. And I really got into it maybe about 2018. I think I was having just the worst time ever sleeping. And then when you start off, you make the changes, you start the good, and then you start slacking off. So you know, started realizing that these things actually work. I've never, thankfully for me, and of course, I am very pro using medication when you need it, but very rarely have I had to go to external help to actually help me with sleep. And that's usually if I'll have like really bad migraines sometimes, and that's usually when I need
Okay.
the help to sleep. But I love sleep. At one point, I even had like a few persons who I was helping out with sleep. With these persons, when I spoke to them, I said, I did a screen for mental disorders such as anxiety and depression because I did say to them, like, I'm not here as a doctor. I'm here as a sleep enthusiast. So I'm not here giving you medical advice at all. But I do have to screen and say, okay, are you having anxiety? Are you depressed? Because at that point, you may actually need the help of a psychologist, psychiatrist, or some kind of medication. And I was not able to offer that. So just even with that, spoke to a few persons. It was only maybe about 3 persons. And that's just the level that I love sleep. I really want to work more around sleep, talk more about sleep. And I'm really excited to just say, hey, if someone says to me, hey, I'm having issues sleeping, I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like a good thing is whenever you're talking to people, it's good to find out the barriers as to why they're not having sleep. Because sometimes
Yeah.
they know the issue, but they just don't really want to mention it. They don't want to give up what it is. They
Yeah.
don't want to give up the extra hour of TikTok. And I
No. That's one of my biggest issues. The whole thing about social media and like always TikTok the way how TikTok works is like you can scroll and you're getting new content. It never ends.
never
So
ends.
it's really hard. And for me, my sleep goes out of whack if depending on like how I'm working. Um, it goes out of whack, especially if I'm feeling a little bit more anxious, if I'm stressed out. Boy, my sleep is all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. Same for me. Same for me. The thing with me is when I'm stressed out, it's like you feel like you probably sleep more, but no, because your mind is on this kind of hamster wheel, right?
Yeah,
So it's like I have to do this, I have to
yeah,
do that. If I don't do this, I now go be even when you're asleep or like when you try to sleep, your
yeah.
brain just
Think
has to
about it.
think about it exactly. So you're affecting your quality
Yeah,
of sleep. I
you want
see
me tell you?
Dejan. Sorry, I saw we love Dejan saying my anxiety is terrible. I need help with sleeping. So we're coming up to some tips later on. So just stick around. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. That's why we're
I
here.
wanted to. I wanted to say the thing that you said about having something on your mind. It
Yeah.
was very funny. Like a couple years ago, somebody on Twitter said that before they go to bed, they write their to-do list for the next day. And I was like, yo, this actually makes sense because the things that are usually on my mind are the things that I need to do. But realistically, me can't get up and do them right there. So literally, the act of simply taking what's on my mind and writing it down and say, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna go to the grocery store. Tomorrow I'm gonna go get whatever. and all the things I'm thinking about doing right now, I'm just gonna say, all right, this is what I'm gonna do tomorrow. It kind of helps to quiet your mind a little bit and say, all right, Samantha, you have to deal with that tomorrow. You can't do it right now. You need to go and sleep now.
Exactly, yeah. And also, to what I find is whenever I put it on paper, sometimes you realize that in your mind, you're kind of making a mountain out of a molehill. So it's like you realize
Yeah.
when you write it down, it's like, well, we can't do this. When we do it tomorrow, we can do, but like you're thinking about it, it's just like, oh, it just kind of look like it's this big old task to tackle. While when you put it down on paper, it's like, oh yeah, we can do this, yeah.
Yeah. Or when you start the task that you put off for like 3 months,
For
10
3 weeks,
minutes.
3 months, I did it in like 5 minutes.
That was me with reading your article. It took me 5 minutes.
Yes, everybody, I had this article I sent to Samantha possible last month. I just
It
text
was
last
great,
night.
by the way.
I'm like, but I completely get it because that's just I think that's how my mind works too. Because even when it comes on to exams in exam time, I can't study not the night before. It has to be the night before. So it's like I'm not even going to think about it. I just leave it until the night before to study. And then that's the other thing too. It comes up to you knowing yourself, you knowing it takes a lot of introspection to be like, all right, this is how I work. What do I need to do to
Yeah.
make sure
I
that
mean,
I'm getting my sleep?
yeah, it's like, for example, it's like creating a budget, right?
Hmm.
So you want to kind of take that same principle. You're really only gonna know your spending habits if you take note of it for a few months or so. So when it comes to sleeping and what helps you sleep and what issues you're even having with sleep, you really are going to need a moment in time where you take a step back and you see what it is that is causing you not to sleep, and on the days when you're having good sleep days, what is it that caused you to have a good sleep day? Was that the day that, oh, before you went to bed, you took a very warm shower, you had a glass of milk, you never watched a lot of TV, and you lie down in bed, the AC was on, so you're never hot, and you wake up next morning and you're like, oh, wow, wasn't I just awake? Like things like that. And it's gonna be so even though we're gonna give very broad tips, it's gonna be very individualized to the person, and it's gonna take a lot of looking into yourself and saying, okay, this is what I need to do.
Exactly, yeah. And just like as a disclaimer, as health professionals here, we're telling you any tips at all, even this tip, what once it's medical or to your health, definitely take it at face value, but then always try to personalize it. Always introspect and be like, all right, this is the tip, yeah, but like, how can I apply it to me personally? How do I work? How is my brain works? Different
Yeah.
things that, yeah. So
And
don't always just take it face value.
when in doubt, just go to your medical professional,
Go to your
because
medical.
this is not a medical advice
This is not.
session, you know.
It is not trying to replace you going to your psychiatrist, your psychologist, your medical professional, your GP, even. Yeah. There you go. Exactly. I'll be a pharmacist. Okay, a pharmacist will help you with a little.
Yeah, when you get in some NyQuil, right, or some DPH.
DPH. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah.
Which we actually use. We do actually prescribe DPH for sleep. So
Yeah.
I mean, so
What? Like. So for some nights when I realize I'm probably not tired enough, or is that I tried what me try normally I do the whole screen time thing, so I put on lo-fi type music.
when you
Yes,
make the screen yellow.
yes, and then I make the screen black. I mean, my laptop screen black, turn on the music, and I just go to lie down. When I realized I just kind of did it, but it's like I don't have anything to do. I'm just in bed, but I need to sleep. And I tried some other things already. Let me say, yeah, I'll probably just take it.
You know, I kind of don't want. I don't want us to jump. I want us to talk. I don't want us to jump into the tips first, because I have an answer for that. But I think
say what I did. Yeah.
First of all, the reason why you even need sleep, like sleep is so important, and it's not, to me, it's like we don't, for example, we don't even power down our laptops anymore, especially if you're a part of the MacBook gang. You just lock the laptop. But you'll realize that if you have your laptops on all the time, consistently, it will start to get slower and slower because it's never really getting a chance to restart and reboot. But when we sleep, we're literally shutting down our systems and giving our bodies a chance to repair our cells, to use up the nutrients, to get everything back going. Like that's the time. That is like the night shift where you kind of make sure everything is running well. And then when you're not sleeping now, I wrote an article about driving sleepy, which is worse than driving drunk, and it's something that a lot of healthcare professionals or people who work night shifts will often do, where they're driving at night or in the mornings after a night shift and them just tired,
Yeah.
falling asleep at the wheel. There's something called micro sleep where if you are tired enough, you literally cannot stop your body from falling asleep. Your body is going to, like when you need to use the bathroom and you can hold it and hold it, and it comes a point where you cannot
Can't
hold
hold
it.
it.
That's what happens with sleep as well. So there's gonna come a point in time where you, no matter what you're doing, loud music.
Yeah.
I used to play music loud, make my car really cold, drive super slow, just make it very uncomfortable for me to
Mm,
drive, so I will stay awake. But your body will fall asleep even with all of that. So
yeah.
it's very dangerous to not sleep and to avoid sleep. And if you're having sleep issues, to be like, you know what,
I'll just not
I'm
sleep. I'm
just gonna
saying
do,
it until 6 o'clock
yeah,
when I reach home, something like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even on the flip side of that, even you don't really want to be dependent on medication either, because a lot of times the medications might just be like a band-aid for what is really preventing you from sleeping. It's not really,
It's
it's
treating the symptoms and not the actual cause, which is where it
exactly.
back more.
Exactly. And for most persons, you're going to need more than just medication to help you. And eventually you might realize that you don't even need the medication. But then again, that's going to be something that you're going to have to work out between you and your healthcare practitioner, or you and your medical practitioner for sure.
Exactly. So this was a perfect segue now into the next part that I want to ask you. How or what is the impact that sleep has on your health? What is what impact does sleep have on your health? How does it
Okay.
affect?
So lack of sleep can make your immune system worse. So you're more likely to have infections from not getting enough sleep, because your immune system just isn't working like it should be. You're also even more at risk of cardiovascular disease too, which is gonna put you more at risk of like heart attack, stroke, um, di- heart attack and stroke, even like um issues with the vessels in your blood. And
Mm,
what happens is that when you're sleeping, your body gets some time to repair these blood vessels. It makes you more at risk of getting diabetes, because the it you being up more, you're producing more sugar, more glucose. And also, I mean, the longer you're awake is the more you're going to eat. And when I was on working night shift, Jesus,
night. They said
all
night
I'm
do not rough with
craving is,
night.
me not crave no broccoli, no salad. I'm not even craving fruit. Fruit would have bad and not so bad. But you know what you're craving? You're craving junk food, you're craving chocolate, you're craving sugar and stuff like that. So on your health, it has the things that's happening on the inside. It doesn't You're not able to repair things in your body. You're producing more sugar. You're not able to fight off infections as well. But then at the flip side, because you're awake longer, you're way more likely to eat. You're way more likely to have these cravings. Um, and there are just so many things, like not sleeping also puts you at risk. You're not able to think straight, right? You're
Exactly.
not able to
Mental
have
aspect.
great cognitive function. Like somebody asks you what's 2 plus 2, you're like, oh, I need to look on a calculator, okay, you can't do it. Like
Yeah.
you get brain fog, you have memory issues, you're talking foolishness, you're more irritable. There's just
Oh,
so
trust
many
me, so much
things.
more research.
Trust me. Trust me.
Listen.
Trust me. There are a lot of times where things are happening, and unfortunately, persons might get the short end of the stick because you're just super tired. You're super tired. You're in the supermarket. Somebody just brush against your cars, and you're upset and just tired. You're tired. You know.
Yes. Like when I have like a 6 day work week, I'm going for that 6 day. It was no for the first hour of the shift. Just no, no.
It's a no
So yeah,
from me. No, thank you.
no, thank you. But if I do understand with what you're saying, the repairing of your body physically while you sleep, because even I find whenever I'm not getting enough sleep, I tend to get canker sores. You know what canker sores? The
Yeah.
mouth ulcer.
Yeah.
Always. If
Oh
I
my God, I
get like
haven't had one of
3
those
or
in
more,
years.
I may have one
Whew,
last week. If I haven't gotten
I
proper
hate them.
sleep in like 2 days in a row, one part of my mouth I go bust.
If you
I
eat
don't know
some
why. It just
orange.
does. Yes. I always try to eat orange
Mm,
whenever I get them, but John, no, trust me. So I definitely know that sleep is linked to
yeah.
health. You know, yeah, and
And it's
that's
gonna
not
be
just
good for
physical health,
wound
as we're
healing
saying
too.
mental. What I said?
It's gonna be
Oh,
good
wound
for
healing.
wound healing as well. Like if you
Yeah.
have a cut or anything, it's gonna be good for that.
Yes.
Sleep is
Yes.
just like a reset button. I feel like whenever I feel bad, me just go sleep, you know. If I have a headache, I just go
Oh,
sleep.
especially a headache. Especially a headache. And you know, I don't really. I try not to take medication for headaches or pills for headaches. Whenever I have a headache, that's it. I go to bed. Night. See
Yeah,
you tomorrow.
yeah. And you know, we should, you know, with our next live, we should talk about headaches because
Yeah.
sometimes, no matter what pill you take, sometimes you're getting a headache because you're hungry and you need to sleep, and your body is just telling you, listen, this is what you need to do, just go and do it.
Let's go on.
No matter what you take, that's what you need to do.
There you go. All right. So I think we covered the negatives of lack of sleep. So moving on to this other phrase now that I heard. I saw it across the internet, and I definitely do think um I had it for like a while. It's called revenge bedtime procrastination. Have you ever heard of that one?
Revenge, bedtime procrastination.
Yes.
No, but
But
that sound, what that mean?
I booked up on it and I was looking up on it. Like basically, it's like during the day. So say someone like me, or like someone like us, we're more creative and so on. So we'd probably prefer to be doing our creative side of stuff, right? Yeah. So it's like during the day, the whole day take up with your profession and your career and so on. So when nighttime come now, that time they say, all right, we need to make this video, we need to make that video, we need to do. We can't go bed early because if we go bed early, then we wake up tomorrow and I work that again. So we have to stay up and do all of this. So that's basically what
So it's like
revenge.
you're trying to extend the day by not
You're
going to
trying to
sleep.
extend the day
So that be
exactly.
me. So that be
So, no,
me.
like sometime in case I'm not gonna tell you any lie because I'm like,
I would say that would
video.
catch me. Like if I'm trying to avoid something, like if I'm trying to avoid something, like I don't want tomorrow to come because I have to face something more, you know, I have to go see the person, I have to have one controversial conversation with her, something like that. And I'm just like, boy, but you know, at the end of the day, tomorrow must come, you know.
Have to come exactly.
Tomorrow must, you might as well get it with a well rest. You might as well get it well rested. But I totally get that. Like you, especially knowing this day and age where so many of us have different hustles and we have different passions and so many different hobbies. And a lot of times work can take up so much of our time. And then you come home and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. But I still need to do that. And I think also it can also negatively affect how much fun you have
You're having
with that
the
hobby or even that other income stream that you're trying to build up.
because then no, that kind of feel like well, I mean, it is your second job, but it just starts to feel very,
Job
like
like.
instead of me enjoying myself, I have to be doing this. Like I have to be doing this. You understand?
Exactly.
I'm taking out my sleep.
Exactly.
I'm groggy. This and that. This and that. Yeah,
I would, you know what I would say to that? For example, if it is that you work maybe from 8 to 4, that you come home. When you come home, say you work 8 to 4, you don't live too far from home, say come home maybe 5 o'clock. I think what would be really good is that between you give yourself some time to actually relax and prepare. So you say, okay, between 5 and 6:30, I'm gonna have dinner, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna get prepared. And then you have like 2 or 3 hours of power work where all you're doing is being hyper focused on doing that. And when the time is up, the time is just up. Making very realistic tasks. Sometimes I think we create to-do lists that are unrealistic. We could get them done over the course of a week, but we want to get them done over the course of a few hours. And that can really set us up for disappointment and set us up for burnout as well. So just being like that, where just being like that, where you set the time and you create this habit. And trust me, I have realized when you have a few hours of very focused work, it can be really great. You're just plowing through. But if you have the mentality in your head, like, oh, I finished work, I need to get this done, I need to get this done. You're doing this, but you have not really given yourself the time to say, let me get in a frame of mind for this. And you do need some time to switch from being at one workplace and then jumping into something else. So that time in between can be really crucial. And also, you could also take a nap. There's this thing called, for adults, and I think we're talking primarily to adults here. For adults, if we take a nap in the day, it is actually okay for you to subtract it from your sleep. So if I were to take a 2-hour nap between 5 and 7, I don't need to sleep for 8 hours from 10 o'clock. Right? I can actually push my bedtime to about 12 o'clock and wake up at 6 or so to get my 8 hours of sleep. Right? So they do say that you can do something like that. But again, it's going to be dependent on you. Some persons only need 5 hours to feel well rested. Most of us generally need 6 to 8.
Yeah. So envious of those people though, because I know I need a lot of sleep. Trust me, it is crazy. But yeah, I definitely do agree with you. It's like it's definitely a thing where you have to look at it for yourself, because I know I definitely try that, I try that nap thing, but I don't know what it is. You see, when you wake up, I'm finding myself not being able to get into the task. When I wake up,
I feel like it depends. I feel like it depends, because for me, naps have their benefits, and I take more naps. I took more naps when I was in school and when I was like just finishing school more than I do now. So I would say there were times where I had a rule basically. If I took a nap, it always had to be over 30 minutes, because we have something called a sleep cycle. So you don't really want to give yourself less than 30 minutes, and you don't really want to go above 2 hours. After some time, I kind of figured out, based on how I felt, how much of a nap I needed. And honestly, sometimes I would just break my sleep cycle into 2, right? So I would have this thing that if I fell asleep, say I fell asleep earlier in the day, like at 7 o'clock, and I wake up at 2, instead of saying, you know what, it's 2 o'clock, let me just go back to sleep. If I woke up feeling good, I would just start doing something. And when I feel sleepy again, I would just go back to sleep. But I promise that I kind of made to myself is that no matter what, if I'm going to take a nap and I wake up like I'm just not into it and I need more sleep, I just go back to sleep, because it usually isn't going to be worth it to wake up and force yourself to do it. But you have to know the difference between waking up and feeling, okay, I'm still a little tired, but if I get up, walk around, get something to drink, I will wake up enough so I can do a task. Which is why I wanted to answer something that you said, where you said sometimes you're lying down and you just can't sleep. I don't believe in forcing sleep, right? Taking persons who are maybe insomniacs out of it. But I don't believe that if you're not tired that you should go to sleep, or you should force yourself to sleep, because you end up creating a negative environment around sleep, and you're telling yourself that, oh, sleep is almost like a punishment. Sleep is like something that you have to force yourself to do. And the truth is, sleep is a reward. Like, sleep is something that's a necessity, but you're gonna have better sleep when the environment around sleep is really good. So what I would say is, if it's 10 o'clock, and oftentimes when we take the medication, we can end up waking up groggy as well. But if it's 9:30, 10, and you're like, I need to go to sleep, but you're not tired, I would literally say, get up, and don't necessarily. It depends. It depends, but get up and do something, and it also depends. Like, maybe you want to wash the dishes. I like to read a boring book, because as soon as I start read the book, I just want to sleep. I would say, don't go on social media, don't watch videos, and that again is a little iffy. If I start watching feet videos, like where they take out the nails, or pedicure videos, it just lulls me to sleep. So something like that would put me to sleep.
It
But I would.
also helps some people to I know some people, they get up and they exercise. They don't need to exercise. Probably not too vigorous. Figure wake them up worse, but some just to kind of get them in that mood to sleep.
Okay. I mean, whatever works for you, but I don't think you should force yourself to sleep. It doesn't make any sense. And it just makes this very negative correlation with sleep.
Yeah, and it's very important to have like a positive mind space around sleep, because then you'd want to do it, rather than have to do it, and then you probably might get revenge bedtime procrastination again. But I have this question down, and I want to ask you: sleep quality versus quantity. Is there a preference, or is there one that we should aim for?
Always quality first. In everything, it's always gonna be quality over quantity, right? Yeah, you're always gonna want to strive for quality, and quantity is definitely gonna differ, because obviously with children sleep way more than adults. Teenagers as well. Like, for teenagers, it's not abnormal for them to go to bed very late and wake up very late in the morning. And sometimes we should kind of stop forcing them to change up that kind of sleep routine. For adults,
Saturday morning if you sweep up the house.
yeah. I mean, when they get up, they kind of do chores. Like, who cares? For adults, we generally, because we all know, but we generally go to bed earlier and wake up earlier. So they have found with different age groups, the way how we sleep is a little bit different. But so I would say quantity doesn't really matter as long as you're getting quality. And the truth is, if you're not getting a good quality sleep, eventually you're gonna find yourself waking up, sleeping for like 12 hours at some point. And that has happened to me numerous of times, where I'm sleeping for 12 hours and I wake up, I'm like, where am I? Who am I? But sleep quality is key. And I don't know if you have a question. I'm waiting for the question to see if we're going to talk about the tips. I'm waiting for that. I don't just jump into it.
So let's go back to the question now, since you're saying that, all right, we must try for quality more. It was basically tips as to how we can get a better quality sleep. So we know, obviously, for the quantity is like, sleep more. But for the quality, what is it that we can do around bedtime?
My time to shine.
Your time to shine. Oh, by the way, everybody, drop your questions in the comments, or drop your questions in the comment box, or just if you have general comments, put them down there. We'd love to interact with y'all. All right, so yeah, you can share the tips now.
Okay, so how to improve your sleep quality. This is gonna take a multifactorial approach. Like, there are gonna be so many factors in your life that is gonna affect your sleep quality, and it's very important. Like, we talk about two hormones. One is melatonin, which a lot of how you pronounce that? Melatonin, that a lot of persons will take to actually help them sleep. And then there's cortisol. So these two things actually do two opposite things. And they're what really helps us with our sleep cycles. So cortisol is produced when you have a whole heap of bright light. So that's what makes you wake up in the morning. That's what makes you stay awake in the morning. That is why, you don't really want to be having bright lights, your phone on bright, because you're going to really make it hard for you to sleep with the use of that. Melatonin is more produced in darker environments. And it's what really helps you to go to sleep. And that's why it's such a good supplement when people take it to help them to sleep. So knowing these two things already, you can already see where you can make some change. Talk about the most important thing when it comes to sleeping, your bedroom and your bed. A lot of us,
Yes.
myself included, I've gotten back into the habit of using my bedroom and my bed as somewhere that I do everything. Me talk on the phone, me do my TikTok video, them, the occasional YouTube video. I'm reading, I do all of my work in my bed. Everything me do in my bed. Every single thing. I have a work desk, I have a living room, I have a kitchen, everything. But I still choose to do all of my work on my bed. And what you really want is that you want your bedroom to be only for activities that you enjoy. So the two S's, sleep and sex, right? That's what you want your bedroom to be. You only want it really to
Yeah.
be for calming activities. And then everything else you do it outside the bedroom. For persons who may not have the luxury of having another space, so say for example when I was at university and my bedroom and my workspace were all in the same area, having distinct areas is really good. So you have one section of your bedroom that's all it is for sleeping. Your bed is just for sleeping, right?
Yeah.
And then you might have a work desk or a chair, or maybe you do the work on the floor, and all you do there is write your essays, read your books, do your videos. That's all you do there, right? And what this does is that when you go in your bed, your brain is no longer thinking, you're no longer associating your bed with all your work. I'm like, oh my God, as soon as you go in bed, a lot of us will go in bed, we have our laptops on us, we're leaning back and we're typing. It's like, oh my God, I have this essay due, I have this homework due, so and so. You really want to break that connection with your bed being something other than sleep and sex, basically.
The cubicle.
Um, yeah, and trust me, like I ended up separating that, and it actually really works. The brain is very powerful when you condition it a certain way. So that's designating your space. When it sets your bedtime, and make your bedtime realistic. Some of us want to go to bed by 12, but we know by 10 o'clock we're ready for sleep. Don't force yourself. Just go to sleep at 10. Wake up at 4 o'clock instead. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Or some of us want to go to bed at 10 and know we're lying down because we're not tired by 12. Then go to bed at 12. Maybe you're one of those persons who only need 6 hours of sleep. So set your bedtime. And when it comes closer to your bedtime, get off your phone, turn off the TV, turn off your iPad, turn off your light, stuff like that. You need to get yourself get a wind down routine is what I call it. And it has to be really relaxing. For me, it's doing my skincare, showering, journaling. Sometimes I'll think over my day, right? And because you want to avoid the bright lights, sometimes just turning off your main light and then having a single source of light that is a low off, it's not as bright, it's not as all over the room, can really help. Try not to do activities right before bed that are going to keep you awake. So I exercise it depends, but I prefer not to do exercise in the morning. In the night, I find that exercise in the morning might make you feel sleepy, but exercise at night definitely will wake you up. That's me personally. So you maybe don't want to watch something that is going to get your heart pumping. You don't want to do any activities that are going to get your heart racing. Nothing to really stress you out in the first 30 minutes of bed. Try and eat something light so that you don't feel uncomfortable. You know, like when your belly extra full
Your belly,
and
this
you
tension.
know
I
you just feel full and you feel
yes.
uncomfortable. Mm-mm. You know, try
And
if you're
watching
gonna,
what you eat too because of what's
yeah,
in the food. Yeah.
you definitely want to avoid caffeine. Um, Sorry, depending on how sensitive you are to caffeine, you may not want to drink anything after 12 p.m. in the afternoon so that it doesn't affect your sleep. And be comfortable. Like, make sure your bed comfortable. Make sure your space is comfortable. And I know that persons may have limitations, especially based on where they are. But for example, you can sleep with earplugs. You can put things over your eyes to block out all the lights. If you need more pillows, get more pillows. If it's too hot, get a fan that going to be right, well, not in front of your face because that can cause issues, but try and get it at a temperature that you prefer. There's so many things that we'll have to do to make the space more comfortable.
And the
You really want
mattress.
to, yeah. And I don't know, they're just, it's really about creating that environment and then creating a routine around sleep. Because it's like when you're driving home, like sometimes you start drive home and you look up and you're like, whoa, I reach home already. You do it every day. You drive the same route every day that you don't even notice it. So when you end up creating this habit and you're creating this routine, 9:30 you go shower, you do your skincare, you journal. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning and you're well rested and you feel good. I'll go back to the point of, if you're not tired, if it is that you're not sleepy, don't force yourself to sleep. Don't no bother say to yourself, it's 10 o'clock, I need to go sleep. If you're not, maybe you never had maybe your day was relaxing. Maybe the day you never use a whole heap of energy. And if not, you just get up and you go do something. Go wash your dishes, go read a book, maybe even complete a task you have. If you're sleeping and you wake up and you're not tired, don't go back to sleep. I would say don't go back to sleep. Why? Because the thing with me, like, I would wake up at 2 in the morning, force myself to go back to sleep, and when I wake up again, I'm just so groggy, and it's like I just disturbed my sleep cycle, and I just messed it up. And then when I started doing, waking up in the middle of the night and actually just doing a task, whether it was doing an assignment or reading another chapter of a book, and then when I was ready to go back to sleep, if I was ready to go back to sleep, I would just literally go back to sleep. And it's a lot about listening to your body and being honest with yourself.
Exactly. Definitely. I do agree with you. And there are some pretty good tips too. Very good tips. And
No,
I definitely is it?
may I check my article, you know?
Oh yeah, my next tip.
I'm checking my articles. Yeah, the one, yeah. I was gonna add how I use my alarm. So you know how people they make fun of it on TikTok all the time when they have the alarm with it being blaring. I literally, the way how I use my alarm now is that the alarm, it just go nice and soft and it goes loud and loud, so it kind of it gently wakes me up out of sleep. Because the way how you wake up to, you might be surprised, but it might actually be the way that you're waking up that makes you feel unrested. When your parents come and say, wake up, time to get up, being startled out of sleep.
Your heart a pound for like a good 5 minutes. Because of the way you
Exactly.
wake up. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that not make no sense. So I found that having an alarm that just kind of gently not wakes me up. I actually prefer waking up before my alarm, right? And then all my alarm does is tell me, okay, it's time for you to get ready now. And that has just happened over the course of the years. And then I will set my alarm in intervals. So I'll have like wake up alarm, and then like, okay, let me just lie down in bed for a little bit and relax and get ready to start my day. And then I have a subsequent alarm that's like, all right, you need to get up now, Samantha. and then that's when
Yeah,
I'll get up. That's when I'll get ready to do it.
exactly. I definitely agree with that. I did have a, I'm not sure if it was on my Android or it was on my iPhone. I think it was definitely on my Android, but there was a setting on the alarm that's basically said ease. It's like it gave you different options as to how you want the alarm. And there was an ease option, so it's like it does ease up into like a louder tone,
Yeah.
rather than just you know that iPhone 2 there, the bam,
Yeah, I
that
don't
one.
use that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't use that.
So I definitely
I don't
agree
use
with you.
that.
Is that it's also how you wake up as well.
May I try read what Kristen write, but me can't scroll up on my something.
Let me read for you. Hold on.
She said, as a
Kristen, okay.
mom,
As a mom,
online
online
school.
school all day with the kids. Then I work at nights until about 4 a.m. Power nap until about 6 a.m. Get up at it again. Then choose sleep comes on the weekends after their extras.
Kristen, man,
Oh,
your crash. That not
Kristen, you're gonna cry.
sustainable.
Yeah, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna find yourself burnt out, and then slowly you might start resenting some of these activities, and you don't really
I
want
like
to
that you
start
chose
happening
activities.
activities.
But yeah, I mean,
You're gonna
um,
start resenting activities.
honestly, I mean, reading that, Kristen, especially depending on the age that your kids are. So I'm not a parent, so I'm very cautious when I give parents advice, um, with raising children. But based on the age of your child, you may find that just like taking daytime naps, like how kids will take nap times, might actually be of benefit for you, right? So finding little times in the day that you can take a break. If it is that your work schedule, if it is that you can change up your work schedule, maybe instead of working until about 4, maybe working until 2, and give yourself 4 hours of sleep versus 2 hours of sleep. Having time in the day to relax. If you have older children, you may have to ask them for some help. As children get older, they can take on more responsibility. If you have any family support, you gotta ask them if they can help you out as well. Kristen said, been at it for a bit though. I know the burnouts all too well. The 8-year-old should be able to help out a little bit. I'm like, you know what? Guys, when school finishes at 2, mom needs some time. Go and entertain yourself for a little
Yeah,
bit. And
yeah. Turn on TVJ a little bit on the cartoon segment. Yeah, okay. I could take they kind of keep them preoccupied so that you can rest a bit because I feel that's a grueling schedule. You know, you might have been at
yeah,
it for a while, but yeah,
exactly.
it,
And you want to make sure that you're also paying attention to your health, because earlier we did talk about how much lack of sleep can affect your health, you know? And that's I mean, it's really important because it is very normal to become accustomed to very short intervals of sleep. But then it's wreaking havoc on your health. You're stressed out, you're burnt out, you're not giving your body enough time to replenish itself. And honestly, it's better the house messy for a little bit, because the same 8-year-olds and 5-year-olds can do chores. They can pick up stuff after themselves. They can learn to wash the dishes after themselves. They can learn to make look at all these little kids on TikTok making sandwiches for themselves. Kids are independent.
yeah. So if you, as you said, wake up to a crash course, just tell them, look, it's tidy up time. So what's how the song go?
Make it a
But you know,
game.
clean up paper, pick up paper off the ground, something like so. So
Yeah.
kind of clean up fun with them, so they kind of get into that frame of mind of okay, I should not really be doing all of this. Probably a one and two, but not a whole complete, pop
Yeah.
house. So yeah, basically that. If that helps, Kristen, again, it does come down to your situation. So
Exactly.
you also have to just sit and map out little spaces here and there where you can probably I guess probably get a nap in or something like during
I
the day or
honestly,
so on.
I still think the best way is gonna be trying to get trying
The
to
work.
give yourself a cutoff time, because I have met so many persons where it's just like, we're like overachievers. We have deadlines. We need to get these things done, and we're so committed to the 9 to 5. We're so committed to the work, and like this is what we need to do. But at some point, you have to say like, yo, this I'm drawing a line. Whatever the goose gets at 12 o'clock, and that them I gonna get.
Yeah, exactly, basically. So I hope we helped Kristen. She said you guys are the best. Well, thank you. I mean, I hope we helped a little bit. So as you said, go introspect and see what you kind of can do. All right, moving up to Javante. Now he's saying, what do you think about falling asleep to background music / sound? Me love when me asleep and me I hear the sea in my room. LOL.
No
I
problem.
personally, I love it. Listen, I'll find a good, nice thunderstorm playlist on YouTube and I
Yes.
just play the thunderstorm.
Yes.
Oh. And there's some music too. Like if you type in thunderstorm music, you have the music and have the thunderstorm in the background. You
So
sleep. You sleep.
so when I was an intern or a senior house officer, and I had duties where basically anytime that I had any free time during the 24-hour duty, I needed to go to sleep. I have this weighted eye mask that someone actually gifted me from Twitter when I was complaining about lack of sleep. So I put on my eye mask, I cover up well, I never cover up my ears. I put in my headphones and I would play thunderstorms and drop asleep. So it would either be that or I watch one of those pedicure videos. I love pedicure videos, but something about them just make me drop asleep. Or I would just watch pedicure videos. After about 10 minutes, this is me. And like, I'm gone. I have to go to sleep after that.
Yeah, I mean, and also too, I do have like there's some comfort series I have that I'll probably just put on in the background that work for me. Like they just really put me to sleep, so I just put them on in the background and just sleep with it. And keep me
It's
asleep.
gonna be what
When it comes
works
down
for
to
you.
the sound, I feel like when it comes down to the sound, it's like a you thing. Like what sound you sleep with, then you sleep with it. Because somebody might be on heavy metal rock and they put them to sleep, so it's like like, yeah,
Exactly.
So, yeah,
It's nobody is judging. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is there taking notes like, no, this is what you shouldn't be doing. This is what you should. If it works for you, it works for you. But importantly, when I say this is, if it works for you, it works for you. But avoid alcohol. A lot of times we'll use alcohol to help us sleep, but alcohol does this thing where it will make you sleep, and then it doesn't. The quality of sleep that alcohol gives you isn't the best, and I am hesitant to talk about weed, like marijuana, for sleep, because it's very good in terms of like calming and stuff like that. But someone said to me the other day, like, they were having issues with sleep. I'm like, but you cannot smoke a lot of weed. And they're like, yeah, but there's a difference between crashing and falling asleep versus going to sleep. And that's so true. When you go to sleep, the quality is so much better. It's like, okay, I have made myself comfortable to sleep. I'm going to lie down and I'm going to go sleep now. But then when you're just falling asleep or just ending up when you're falling asleep or just happen to drop asleep, I find that the sleep quality is way worse because it's almost by accident. It's like it's like you've drained yourself of the battery and it just make it drop. You just make it you just make itself shut off. Like when we use our electronic devices until the battery drain.
And the battery drain. And sometimes the phone, it's about 5% left and it's still shut down. So, no matter how much you think they can go on, sometimes you're just tired and you're just going to crash out and you're going to end up falling asleep. Like what you were saying earlier with the micro naps, as they say it was, or micro sleep.
Micro sleep.
Where you just half it fall asleep. I think I've experienced that before, it's like I'm in church and I'm trying so hard to keep my eyes open, and it's like, you know,
Listen,
like
I can fall asleep standing up. Like you're
some,
talking to me, and I'm like, what?
yeah,
I'm asleep. But I have a question for you.
yeah, yeah.
What are some? There are going to be times where persons do need assistance to sleep. And be very careful with medication. It's not something that you want to become dependent on, but there are going to be persons who need medication to help. And as I'll say, be guided by your medical practitioner. If you find that you're having to rely on this for a lot of for a lot, then I would say go and see a sleep specialist, go and see a doctor, anything like that. But what are some great over-the-counter sleep remedies that people use?
Some great over-the-counter sleep remedies. There is this one that lots of people were asking for one day. It was called Calm. The name is literally Calm. So if you ask for Calm or Calms in the pharmacy, they'll know what to give you. I think that one has in, I think it has in magnesium in there. What you find is that magnesium is good for calming down people. Because I even saw this other
Ooh.
supplement. It was called calming supplement, and its main thing was magnesium. Another good thing is, as you're saying, melatonin. So the supplements melatonin. The reason I'm not so quick to jump on some melatonin is because it's not that FDA regulated fully. So it's like, I mean, there's not much side effects that come with melatonin, but you just still have to be cautious when it's not fully regulated. But it's very good. I have melatonin and I help because sometimes, as I said, I might not get as much sleep and my cycle might shift up a little bit. So if it is that I want to like fix my cycle, so I can say, all right, I want to be tired at this time, I can do that. So if it is I want to be tired by 10 o'clock, I probably take something by like the 7 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So by the time 10 o'clock reach. And then that's it. So I'm not just like taking. I was taking it
Yeah.
so it give that initial jolt of, all right, here is where I want the body to start producing melatonin. And after that, now I try to do more natural things. And this is just after me trying natural things first, and they're probably not working as well. So, use that
Because
help and
after a while, they start to lose their impact,
their
and you'll have to
impact.
take more and more.
I just
And
realizing you have to taking more and more. You don't really want to go down that road of taking more and more.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
know
know for the
someone who has
stars of the
tried
show,
sleep teas. I don't know the name of the tea,
I was just gonna
and it
mention sleep teas
works.
as well. Some chamomile tea in general, that one helps. But you also have some with lavender in it. So lavender tea, lavender definitely helps as well. So chamomile and lavender, those are some good teas. I see Moments by Booth saying great discussion because I can't sleep. It's Jabby
Before
saying,
12.
are there breathing techniques or ways to trick your body to fall asleep? All right, so let me mention one more supplement thing. As I said, the stars of the show, DPH and Histal. So your first generation antihistamines, indication for sleep, but it can be used for sleep. But we tend to like when the doctor say, all right, you can use that for sleep.
For sure.
Because
I mean, even though
yeah,
NyQuil is literally just DPH though,
NyQuil is DPH. NyQuil is
and you can
DPH.
get
Yeah.
like NyQuil is for sleep, but it's just
Yeah,
DPH.
literally just DPH. Yeah, because I learned that in primary school. That first generation means it's sneezing, and you can also use it for sleep as well. So
Yeah,
there you go. As well, but definitely when you're getting a DPH, anything for sleep, any supplements. Right now we're talking about sleep. Talk to your pharmacist, be like, what's the dosage I should do? Most likely, how I do it is start off from the lowest dose, see how it works
yeah,
for you, and you can increase then. And you don't want to be
yeah,
dependent. So, like I said, try to take it here and then try see if you can, naturally do it for like a
yeah.
little while. So, I take some
And
inter.
avoid using it like if you have to do an early drive the next morning, don't use it on that night. Like don't be the first time that you're using a sleep supplement the day
Yeah,
before you have
and you
to
have to do some important
drive or operate any kind of
operate
heavy
heavy
machine or
machine
anything, or do an exam because
because
you have no idea when it's gonna work. It might
and you
knock you
might
out.
wake up groggy. Trust me, yeah. With DPH, I personally, when I plan to take DPH, 6 o'clock. You see, after 6 o'clock, you take it after 6 o'clock, there's no say I go wake up tomorrow tired. You're going to wake up tired.
But
So that's the things you're going to make.
how Kristen asleep 2 hours and I drink DPH. Girl, how you wake up?
I don't know how she did that, you know. Crystal upon some superstar something. Hold on there, man.
I would say with the diffusers are great, but be careful with essential oils. I don't really know much about them, but I do know that not all of them are great for putting in your diffuser and having them being inhaled. Some essential oils can be very dangerous, so just be careful and mindful of that, and do your research. And for example, I know some of them will come for sleep, so make sure you're getting it from a reputable source. The information you're getting is from a reputable source as well. Someone had asked about techniques to trick your body.
The breathing.
Breathing.
The breathing first. Yeah, the breathing, like mindful breathing, definitely can help. It can help to calm you down and relax you.
Yeah.
In a state of mind for sleep. So there are breathing techniques. I know Javi, so I'll send him probably like a YouTube link or so on. But since we talked about not wanting to force ourselves to sleep, I want you to address the ways to trick your body to fall asleep.
I don't believe in tricking your body to fall asleep. But just there, you can't trick your body into falling asleep. I just think it's about I think it's just about getting ready for sleep. And if it really and truly is that you're not ready for sleep, just don't force it. You're gonna make a negative relationship with sleep if you do that. So have your wind down technique. Make sure it's very relaxing, and that's gonna be whatever is relaxing to you. You want to avoid things that are going to make you be very high energy, very excited, very ecstatic, stuff like that. You honestly, I love a cup of warm chamomile tea, right? Tricking yourself would be like reading the world's most boring book. You know? Like, read something boring, a book that you don't like, and just,
you know, there's falling asleep.
Yeah, not something that's going to make you interested. Like, read a book on a topic that you just can't bother, you can't get past 3 pages. It just puts you... I always find that when I can't sleep, but I need to sleep, if I start studying...
Gone. You're gone. But yeah. Alright, so I think, let me just run through one more time. Wait, so I'm seeing... Active Pharmacist saying use some Histol to hit your right.
Oh, that's Active Pharmacist. I was like, Active what? I thought that X was supposed to be at I was like, Active what? So I'm happy that you said it and not me, because I was about to say Active.
You know, I normally see that abbreviation and the first thing jumping to my mind is that, but as a pharmacist I know. But the first thing jumping to my mind is that. I love how you were just like completely ignoring it and not even addressing it. Oh
yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
But yeah, he's saying use some Histol hit your right out. So yeah, Histol DPH, that's similar class. I'm about to post up a TikTok video though, because somebody was telling me, because I did post about a TikTok video about non-drowsy antihistamines. Somebody wants to know about some drowsy antihistamines, so I'm going to post up a video over my TikTok. For that, so you guys can go check it out, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think we can wrap up now. I think it's a really good session. Thank you so much, Dr. Samantha Johnson of the Layman's Doctor, for coming tonight. Yeah, next time we can come up and talk about
CBD does in fact help, yes.
And yes, sleep does in fact help you guys. It helps your health. Just to recap, when it comes on to your health, physically, it helps wound healing. It helps repair any minor damages you might have here and there. For your mental health, it prevents things like anxiety. Also, cardiovascular issues, it reduces them. And when it comes on to tips to get better quality sleep, we just run through what Dr. Samantha Johnson said. First, you want to designate your space. So don't be doing work on your bed, or if you can do it in somewhere other than your bedroom, do work outside of your bedroom. But if you only have your bedroom, don't do it on your bed. So when you reach your bed, your brain knows sleep time. 2, you want to set your bedtime. Definitely set your bedtime so you know that whatever you're doing by 10 o'clock, That's it. I need to stop. I need to sleep. Whatever happen. Whatever the duck get, the duck get. But number three, don't do overstimulating activities too close to bedtime, because that will wake you up, obviously, as you can tell. And as we're talking about cortisol, things that just, boost up the cortisol levels in your body, waking you up and so on. So, it makes it harder for you to fall asleep. And even if you do end up falling asleep, it can affect the quality of sleep that you have. Four, you also want to watch how and what you eat. When it comes down to how, you don't want to be eating too much. When it comes down to what you eat, avoid things with caffeine or any stimulants that might boost you up. Don't be drinking energy drinks in the night. Exactly. Five, you want to make sure you're creating a comfortable space in the room. Lower the temperature if you realize the place is too hot. If the atmosphere is cold and you want it to be warm, make it warmer. Make sure your mattress is, like a good quality mattress. You're not sink down to get henna in the mattress. You want to make sure the room is not too bright. Different things like that. You want to make sure you have enough pillows, so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining. I'm wishing for you a wonderful night. Thanks for joining for one more episode of Let's Go Live. Before we go, one last thing. For goodness grace says CBD helps. We didn't talk about CBD. It's not the CBD. We didn't talk about marijuana, but it does contain CBD.
It does help.
So CBD can help some individuals as well. So if you're prescribed it, you can definitely use it for sleeping purposes. Right? So yeah, have a great night, everybody.
You can go on my website.
Yes, where can we find you?
You can go on my website, www.thelaymansdoctor.com, all spelled out, and just go in the search bar for sleep, and the 2 articles will pop up, and it goes way more in depth about how to make your sleep better, way more in depth.
There you go. And well, I mean, you would know the Instagram from this live, so yeah. And the TikTok is the Layman's DR or the Layman's Doctor.
It depends which one they want to follow, but yes, it's at the Layman's DR. It's the same as the handle.
There you go. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for coming in. Have
no problem.
All right, bye.
Bye.